morning everyone and welcome again to this episode of the Blend Agenda. My name is Mark. Behind the scenes we have Paul, as you all know, and obviously this is my lovely, lovely assistant Sade, who is ready to really do something very cool with us today. Paul, you know what I'm going to do today?
What?
I'm going to do a sorbet, Paul. Do you know what a sorbet is?
No.
Paul, sorbet is a frozen fruit.
Frozen?
It's a frozen fruit dessert, Paul.
Lovely.
Now listen, just quickly, the origins of sorbet, you might not know this because you probably think it's French. Sorbet, that's sorbet you say quite a bit. But basically, Paul, it comes from something in Arabia, back in the late 16th century. Ooh. A young Arabian boy, Ahmad, was walking home after just getting his fruit and goat's milk for his mother. A storm hit, he drops the fruit and the goat's milk onto the floor. Next morning, goes out, and it's all frozen. As he scrapes it away with his little hand, he realises it's very tasty. And sorbet was born. Through the years, it's gone through from Turks, went from Arabians to the Turks, and then finally up with French in the late 18th century. Wow. So there you go, Paul, something you probably didn't know. Interesting fact. So today, we are going to do a mango and a mango and cherry sorbet. Basic rule for doing a sorbet in a blender. Rule number one, you need 3 parts frozen stuff and 1 part other. So it's pretty straightforward. As long as you've got 3 parts frozen, and that can be mixed of different things. I'm going to use today ice, frozen cherries and some frozen mango. And 1 part other, some liquid, I'm going to use some honey, and I'm going to also use some coconut cream. You like coconut cream, Paul, don't you?
Love that.
You love that cream. So, let's get it together and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Firstly, I've got 2 tablespoons of honey. Now Paul, this is yummy, fresh, southwestern Australian honey.
Good to buy local produce.
I like to use local produce, straight in. I'm putting just about 100 mils of coconut cream in there, Paul. I'm also going to put in just a little slice of lime, would you believe? Just to give it some zing. So I'm putting the skin, everything in there. Straight in. Nice ripe banana too, because you want this, whenever you use banana, make sure it's nice and ripe. Okay, Paul, that's our 1 part other. Alright? So I've got about 2 cups of frozen cherries there, and pretty similar, probably a little less, 1.5 cups frozen mango. As I said, they've been in the freezer, so they're ready to go. And that's 2 of our 3 parts frozen, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of ice, just so I can get the consistency I want. We're going to whack a little bit of vanilla essence in there, and that just gives it, once again, a nice little, what's called a subtle hint of flavour.
Of vanilla.
Of vanilla. So that's it, guys. 3 parts, as I said, the main rule there, 3 parts frozen, 1 part other. Now this is where we use our tamper. Obviously everything's frozen, so it's all chunky. It's not just going to fall onto the blades. We're going to have to force that down there, Paul. Force it, force it, force it. We need to force it down onto the blades. So, are you okay with that, Sade? Cool. Yeah, no, she doesn't. She likes it. It's okay. She's a very powerful young lady. Good. So, on this beautiful machine I've got here, which is the Vitamix Professional Series 750. It has all presets. I'm going to put this on to the dessert setting, Paul. It knows how long to go on for and it'll turn itself off. And then I'm just going to simply switch it on and start pounding. Alright, there we have it. Now you would have noticed there I was just basically pushing everything down into the blades. You'll know when it's done, these 4 mounds basically start to appear, and that sort of gives you the idea that lets you know that texture's started to flow and it's ready to go. What happens, because you've got all frozen ingredients, you're kind of releasing the coldness as you push it and grind it down into the blades, but because it's so cold and happens so quick, it all refreezes. So it's an actual fantastic little process. So there we go, Paul. Are you ready for this? Indeed. Now let's make a bit of room. I've got some beautiful dessert glasses here for presentation, Paul. Get myself a nice little ice cream scoop. So, just to show you what we're talking about, Paul, you ready for this? It's an old trick, look, the old sorbet trick. Oh, look at that! Unbelievable! Alright, here we go. Beautiful, yummy sorbet. Let's put a couple of scoops in there. going to use a little bit of lime rind on top as garnish, like so. Nice little slice of lime. Now remember, if you're making this at home, you saw how quickly it took me, Paul.
Minutes.
Now, you imagine you're making that at home. It takes you a minute and a half, you've got people around for dinner, whack that together, a little bit of lime, and let's put our little dessert spoon in there. And you've got a magic dessert. So that is my mango and cherry sorbet from the Blend Agenda. Remember, we're going to have heaps of different menus and recipes coming up after this as well. Each week we're going to do something new, so come back and see us. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. This is myself, Mark, the beautiful Sade, and the wonderful Paul behind the scenes saying goodbye from the Blend Agenda, and we'll see you next time.